Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I stand here today, I think with the passing of time, a little wiser than I have been. And in that approach, I chose to do a lot more listening. And in my listening, I must admit that I'm extremely disappointed that the persons who would like to offer themselves as an alternative government, or the next government as they're purporting, have been vacuous, incoherent, sometimes even laughable in what they are presenting. Go ahead, Patterson. Your normal trend, go ahead. Mr. Speaker, I will address a number of matters that have been raised. And I would like to thank the Honorable Member David Patterson for admiring the successes of the PPPC over the last 4 years. He is admiring it, but he's admiring it awkwardly. I want to address a couple of comments that were made. Yesterday, both the Honorable Member Figueroa and Devin Sears out of Linden spoke and asked that specific things be done for Linden, and in some instances misrepresented the truth. The Honorable Member Figueroa asks that the tolls for the Wismar-Linden Bridge to be immediately removed. And that sounds appealing to the people of Linden. I would like to tell the House what's the cost of those tolls. The cost of those tolls are $40 and $60. Mr. Figueroa did not tell this House that under the APNU-AFC, the municipality of Linden imposed a toll on every truck and goods transportation passing through Linden, costing $5,000, $7,000, $8,000. Every car that is carrying goods and greens to sell in Linden have to spare $2,000 at Caracara. A canter carrying in food and bread for people in Linden have to stop and pay a toll of $2,000, $3,000, $5,000. He did not tell this House that and did not call for the revocation of those tolls. And Mr. Speaker, what is worse, while they're collecting the tolls that says it is to improve infrastructure in Linden, under their tenure, and even now that they are still controlling the region and the municipality, not $1 from those tolls built a road in Linden. So, what are we doing here? Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Member, Mr. Devin Sears, stood up and said that the people in Kokwani want to know when the road's going to finish. Well, he's alien. He's definitely alien. He has not been there in a long time. The people of Kokwani will post the pictures of Devin Sears and all the people of Ghana to see that every single road in Kokwani is under construction right now, with many of them already completed. And let me help him. Every road in Aichuni is being completed right now. Every single road. And the Honorable Member, Mr. Patterson, is saying that when he comes back into government, He will build roads in Linden and in New Amsterdam and in Georgetown. There'll be no roads left for him to build because there are 505 contractors in Linden right now building roads for the people in Linden. 42 contractors in 𝐁𝐿𝐼 building the roads in 𝐁𝐿𝐼, and more than 100 contractors in New Amsterdam building the roads in New Amsterdam. Not to do is being done. So, well, Mr. Speaker, I did tell you it's laughable. In Georgetown and in Region 4, 947 contractors are at work building roads. Some have already been completed, 300 on the East Coast. So let me come now to Mr. Doolittle, who definitely, while he was at the Ministry of Public Infrastructure, suffered from inertia. Mr. Doolittle. He spent a lot of time talking about Amalia Falls and how the IDB did not agree with Amalia Falls. But Mr. Speaker, I would like to read from the Nora Consult report, which was commissioned, Minister Singh, I want to be clear, by the APNU AFC. Here, the section that says 9.2, reasons for retaining Amalia Falls. Although certain designs aspects of the AFHP, which means Amalia Falls Hydro Project, should be reviewed and revised, we regard the soundness of the Amalia Falls Hydro Project as evident, and in order to follow up the intentions of the low carbon development strategy as fast as possible, we recommend the preparation for the Amalia Falls Hydro Project to be resumed.
That's correct. That's correct. That's correct. That is Norway.
This is Norway.
In 2016. That's Norway. In 2016.
Now, listen to this. The same report commissioned by APNU AFC, 8.4.3. Conclusion. From a financial and economic point of view, development of Amalia Falls seems to be the optimal solution for meeting the electricity demands in Guyana. The project should be financially restructured in order to make it more attractive for GOG and potential investors, since the perceived risk of investing in Guyana are high, mainly due to political and regulatory reasons. Let me explain to Mr. Duncan, who is running out of the house, why this is so. I sat in the Parliament. I was serving as minister within the Ministry of Finance alongside Ashley Singh.
Serving with distinction.
Thank you, sir, with distinction. Because I'm a man of distinction.
Serving with distinction, yes. As you continue to do.
Blackstone, one of the biggest multinational listed corporations on every stock market,
That's correct. Number one,
was going to finance the Amalia Falls Hydro Project with not 1 cent of taxpayers' money being required.
the Blackstone Group, that's correct.
$80 million from the 250 we had earned from Norway through the low carbon development strategy would have been put in as equity. And all that was required was the Parliament of Guyana to vote to increase the debt ceiling to give the necessary guarantees to the investor to invest. It was Mr. Patterson and his party that got up in Parliament with the scissors. And let me explain to the Guyanese people, because this is about the people. They knew that if we had gotten a Maya Falls hydro project and the cost of electricity went down, they saw no chance of ever getting back into government. And it is their same modus operandi they are doing now with the gas to energy project, because they know that once this issue of the cost of electricity is addressed and Guyana takes off, the people will never ever listen again to the 𝐴𝐴PNU-AFC. And that's the reality of what we are facing. Mr. Patterson just now said he was listening about what is incomplete. I'm glad you're back, sir. Stand up and correct me if I'm wrong. But didn't you serve as the quantity surveyor to give valuations to some of the people who are in the alignment of the road, where you told them they could get multiplied millions and you were using it for political purposes to block this project?
Yes.
Deny it!
Yes. I stand in testimony.
Deny it if it is not so. And then you're going to come here to say the project is incomplete. It is incomplete because you were working with other lawyers from the 𝐴𝐴PNU-AFC to stir up the people, to sabotage the program. You are against everything that is big, good, and transformational. Your sordid history is that everything that is big, transformational, and will benefit the people of Guyana, you stand in the way of preventing it. But we will not allow it. The people of Guyana will not allow it. The people of Guyana will stand with the PPPC and ensure that Guyana is modernized and transformed. So don't come here and talk about what is incomplete. You know, Mr. Speaker, let me help Mr. Patterson, but by the same time, bringing assurances to the people of Guyana what the $252 billion allocated for the Ministry of Public Works will do for them and how it will better their lives. Because it's not just about the money, it's about the impact on people's lives. It's how we make communities better and how we prosper this country. Right now, all of the bridges from Karasabai in Region 9 all the way through to Parmakatai in Region 8 will be under construction, bringing for the first time a smooth link between Region 9 and Region 8. Budget 2025 provides to that. And let me explain to you why I'm saying this. The cost of a sack of cement in Lethem is $2,800, $2,900, thereabouts. By the time it gets to Parmakatai, it's $14,000. You know what that means? Because of that transportation link that will become more accessible, the cost of development in those communities will be significantly reduced. People will have better homes, there will be better infrastructure, and the livelihoods of people will be improved, and the cost of food will also go down. The cost of living for the people of Region 9 will be reduced just by improving that road link. Mr. Speaker, all the members of the opposition who said they can't support the budget must tell the people of Region 9 and people of Region 8 we don't want you to have those 29 bridges, and we don't want that road to be built. That's what you're saying. Let Mr. 𝐁𝐔𝐃𝐆𝐄, the honorable member, go back and tell the people of Region 9. He voted against a budget that was linking Region 9 and Region 8. Mr. Speaker, as I speak here today, Mr. Patterson will be pleased to note that the bridge across the 𝐁𝐔𝐃𝐆𝐄 Creek that will cause the direct link which was committed by the PPPC to be completed, Parika to Goshen, is now going to be possible because Budget 2025 provides the financing for the 𝐁𝐶𝐃𝐆𝐄 Bridge. Money is in the 2025 budget to build the Makaura Bridge that will link Region 4 with Region 7 from Sand Hills to Falmouth, the Makaura Bridge. As a matter of fact, Mr. Speaker, the contract has already been awarded for this bridge. Mr. Speaker, I would like the honorable member, Ms. Dawn Hastings, and Mr. 𝐁𝐿𝐶𝐃𝐆𝐄, and all those who tell the people that they represent Amerindians that they voted against this budget, that the 51 airstrips that exist and we maintain as a government, that they don't want money to go to upgrade those airstrips. There are 74, but 51 is currently active. And there are about 128 in total. Accessibility to interior locations must be improved. And this budget does that. I would like the honorable member from Region 2, he's not in the house, he's having lunch early, Mr. Sherwin Holder, to tell the people of Region 2 that have 177 contractors currently working in upgrading all of the remaining roads in Region 2, that he's against the budget because he don't want their roads to be built. Where's Mr. Mahai Paul? He says he's from Region 3. He gone to eat. I want him to tell the people of Wakenham and Legwan and Hubu and Parika and the people who live in the West Bank, where the new road is being developed from the Harbor Bridge all the way to Potentia, he's against the budget. I want him to tell the people of Parfait Harmony and Underneeming and all the other villages in there where the Special Projects Unit has already paved 28 kilometers of road, and there are more than 90 contractors in there doing every road in Parfait Harmony and Underneeming and all the roads in there. You're against the budget. Tell the people over there, go on campaign and tell them I'm against the budget when the budget is bringing development for them. I want you, all Ms. Nima Flew and Ms. Philadelphia, the honorable members, Mr. Roysdale Ford should be coming after me. And I want my special friend, Miss Annette Ferguson, to go in Sophia. Go in Sophia and tell the people I am against the budget. When the people of Sophia are seeing their roads being built. And as a matter of fact, walk on the new road and go and tell them that. I want you to tell the 947 contractors, almost 30% of them women, single women. I want you to tell those women, I'm an advocate for women's rights, those women who are building the roads. And you know something, Mr. Speaker? Some of the women are finishing ahead of the men in some of these projects. Go on the East Bank and tell the people and all the people on the Linden-Soosdijk Highway where you used to go and tell them stories about the PPPC hate you. Go now and tell them they have black tanks to the water, they got roads, they got proper school. Man, listen, go and tell them that you don't support the budget. Go and tell them that a new secondary school, that Minister Manichan commission out there, you don't want it anymore. You don't want teachers there. And Mr. Jordan, he's gone. Okay. Region 5. Go and tell the people in Region 5 that is 700 plus roads from Maikoni all the way into Itika. And let me tell you, I would like Mr. Mahai Paul to continue to tell the people how the PPPC government is discriminating. Yes, we are discriminating in favor of bringing development to people in every region, in every village, in every local authority area. And I don't know who will go to Region 6. Mr. Ramjitan, the honorable member, is my very good friend. He ain't come today. Go and tell the people of Region 6 that you are against the budget. And you don't want the Palmyra to Molson Creek Road to be built. You don't want the municipal airport in the Palmyra Kanji development area to be built. Tell them you don't want the stadium. Tell them you don't want the hotel. Tell them you don't want the houses that the Ministry of Housing is being built. Tell them you don't want a new...
Honourable Minister, I tell you need an extension to come already. Sorry, Minister, you have 10 minutes on the original time. Okay.
Mr. Speaker, I know it's human to make error, but I was just concerned. So let us go across the country. Mr. Cox, honorable member, some of us could only have that title here.
Honorable Parliamentary Convention.
I, your humble servant, have been to Mbotero several times, sir. So don't come here and pontificate. I'm sure Mr. Patterson cannot, the honorable member as Minister of Public Infrastructure, cannot say he has visited every village between Karasabai all the way to Kurubakari.
He doesn't even know where Mbotero is.
I am sure the honorable Minister Annette Ferguson can tell you she's visited every village in Region 9. So don't come here and talk like if you got this in your hand and you know what's going out. Go and tell the people that are getting their ICT hubs that you don't want the budget. Mr. Speaker, the monies that are allocated in budget 2025 for the Ministry of Public Works will see a significant continuation of what was started in 2020. No one single budget can be a silver bullet and an answer for everything. But if you look at the strategic implementation of the PPPC's economic policy, you would recognize that we are strategic, we are purposeful, and more than anything else, we are focused on pro-poor, pro-people initiatives. And we are doing this in an environment of inclusivity, maximum participation, and in consultation with the people of Guyana. In the history of government, I don't believe we've ever had a government that has been so active in communities, a president that is so active, ministers that are so active, and we don't just listen, we respond. It is at this stage that I would like to express deep gratitude to my colleague and friend of many years, the Honorable Dr. Ashni Kumar Singh, and his staff of the Ministry of Finance for the excellent work that they have been doing in not just budgeting, but managing the implementation of the budgets over the years that we have been in government. Congratulations to you, sir, and the Ministry of Finance. And I would ask the Honorable Member, Mr. Patterson, to take a look behind me. The same people that he worked with are the same people I'm working with. It had nothing to do with the lack of competence of the staff. It had nothing to do with the qualifications of the staff. The underperformance of the APNU-AFC was as a result of lack of policy direction, lack of vision, and lack of capacity to implement vision. Same team, and let me tell you what they're doing. From 2020 to 2024, 4,322 kilometers of roads was constructed.
And no bundles were bought for the ministry.
From 2020 to 2024, 150 bridges were rehabilitated while 66 bridges were maintained. And these are not putting back wood bridges. These are putting in concrete bridges.
And how many bundles are there for budget for bundles?
From 2020 to 2024, 25,783 kilometers of sea and river defense structures were constructed, while 328,751 kilometers were maintained. And the Honorable Member, Mr. Jordan from Region 5, talk about a breach at Danzig that we came in and corrected. Oh, let me be fair with the people of Guyana. They just listen to me. They got sense. They could see for themselves. Since we are in government, there have not been a breach at Danzig. As a matter of fact, there have been no sea defense breaches in the whole period. We've had overtopping, but we have not had breaches. Mr. Speaker, you know, the monies that are being spent on infrastructure came in for a lot of criticisms, as if to say we're spending too much. And then we had this narrative that is being peddled that we have oil money. So we have a budget that is over 1.3 trillion. Or for the people who don't understand those numbers, 1,300 and something billion. 512 billion out of that money is coming from the Natural Resources Fund. So oil money answering everything here? 512 billion. In the Ministry of Public Works alone is 252 billion. And Mr. Speaker, if you go to your budget book, those of us who know how to analyze it, the capital profile of this budget is about $700 billion. So not even all the oil money that we could get could fund the capital project of this budget. Why are we fooling? Why are we telling people things just like the Honorable Member, Mr. David Patterson, who give people valuations that are out of the window,
Out of the planet.
so that they could stay on land to obstruct the bridge? Why are we selling people dreams that are not factual?
Out of the planet.
Listen, when you're in public life and you are public officials, we must be mindful that everything we say can be fact-checked. Everything we say, people could go and inspect it and see it for themselves. Why is it that we behave like this? Mr. Speaker, there is an argument that is going on out there that people are tired of the 28 years of the PNC and the 23 years of the PPP, because some people don't like to hear of the sordid record of how this country was damaged when there was no democracy. And our 23, 1992 to 2015, they would like that to be disappeared.
Yes, it's true.
But let us say that is possible.
Yes.
Let us examine 2015, 2020, 2020, 2024. Just argument's sake, sir. Just argument's sake. And that's where a lot of my colleagues who are loud, whether in the ring or out the ring, will have to start ducking for cover. Because the young people will say, you're delulu. You're delulu. Mr. Speaker, this budget and the monies that are available will do about, I would look at it and say 10 essential things to benefit the people. It would improve connectivity in our country. The roads and the bridges, the sea defenses, the airstrips that are being built. Once you improve connectivity, boom, areas develop. Government don't have to do everything. Government just have to put the infrastructure in place. When we bought the MV militia, which was money remaining since from 2014, 2015, that the Honorable Member, Mr. Patterson, sat on for 5 years and did nothing. Including the Ogle to Eccles Bypass Road, 50 million US available from the Indian Exim Bank, and did nothing. And you're going to come and tell me but what is behind? We are behind because we are doing something and you are seeking to block it.
Honorable Minister, now you need the extension.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to ask the honourable member be given 5 minutes to conclude his statement.
Thank you, Minister Teixeira. Honorable Minister, you may
Sorry,
continue.
Bishop, I'd love to give you another half an hour, but, you know.
The people of Region 1 and the people of Region 2 would be proud to hear that Budget 2025 has an allocation for the purpose of purchasing additional vessels, ferry vessels. The MV militia is there. We are now in the dockyard coming out with the MV 𝐁𝐔𝐃𝐆𝐄, which will be dedicated for the transportation of cargo. We have the MV Barima, taking it to Region 1. We are about to buy another vessel to put on the Region 1 route, even though we have moved from going twice a month to now several times a month. You heard the Honorable Member, Ms. Juliet Kunja, stand here last night and thank the ministry for what is happening on the Perico-Supanam route, where some days up to 8 trips are being made. The people of Region 2 must know, Budget 2025, monies are in it to purchase another ferry vessel for Region number 2 to fly between Perico and Supanam. The people of Bartica, will tell you that the Bartica stelling that was started under the APNU-AFC, where almost 100% of the contract sum was paid to the contract even before work started, under the Honorable Member, Mr. David Patterson. The stelling, the Linkspan Bridge has already been tested, and we're getting it ready for open before the end of March. partakers getting their stelling. Mr. Speaker, the honorable member, Mr. David Patterson, will be pleased to know that the people of Leg 1, despite of all the trouble and the fandangling that took place, the fandangling, the stelling at Leg 1 is up and running. Mr. Speaker, budget 2025 also will improve people's lives. We all know the story. I thought it was just the East Bank. But outside of the construction zone on the East Coast, the congestion in the morning on the East Coast is as much. That is why we're putting in the 4 lanes on the railway embankment. That is why we're putting a road from Aubrey Barker that will take you all the way through to Ogle. So when you're coming off the East Coast and you are heading outside of Georgetown, where it's over the river to the airport, you don't have to come into Georgetown, Mr. Honorable Member Figueroa. You come down the Ogle 4-lane road, you connect. If you want going south, Aubrey Barker brings you all the way there. You want to get away, you take the Eccles bypass and you go all the way there. I saw on social media a lady who was saying, I'm not necessarily a supporter of the PPPC, but I went out to the country for 4 months. And I come back, me know why there. It's Red Road you're talking about.
Correct.
She knows she there. Place change 4 months. This budget will improve the quality of life and access to services. Budget 2025 stands to support Minister Frank and the Ministry of Health so that his doctors and medical professionals could get to locations quicker, faster, and safer so that the people of Guyana could have access to specialists. The roads, the bridges, and the airstrips that we are building and the new ferry is to help the Minister of Education and her competent staff for the Ministry of Education for more effective delivery of education across the country. Mr. Speaker, one of the big issues that is bothering us, and I know I'm almost out of time, is traffic safety. Budget 2025 has an allocation for about $2 billion for traffic lights. The Honorable Prime Minister is heading a cabinet subcommittee that includes the traffic officers from all across the country discussing traffic safety while we're doing geometric improvement of roads to keep the flow. We're also studying the movement of people. More than 4,000 kilometers of sidewalks are being built to take the pedestrians out of the motorized traffic for safety of people. We're also looking at the issue of the trucks, and in support of the Ministry of Housing and Water, special areas to be developed for parking of trucks outside of the road shoulders and outside of the roadways to encourage commercial development, but at the same time safety of people. So please, honorable members of the opposition, you've had your say, you've done your job of opposing. We have to move now from just the rhetoric and let us look for what is good for Guyana. And because of what is happening in Guyana, continue your politics, but support development. Continue your politics, but support prosperity. Be responsible, be reasonable, and be rational. And let us work together for the development of Guyana. I'm out of time, Mr. Speaker, and I gotta go, but thank you very much and God bless Guyana. Thank you.